Hello, beautiful soul family. Hello, Maree. Hello, Jazzy. How are you doing, girl?
Hey, Elisa. Hi, everyone. We're doing great over here. Thank you. Jazzy's happy. He's giggling away to himself, obviously. And guys, just remember you can always tune in to Jazzy if you want to as well and start playing with that aspect of your higher self. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. But how are you doing? What's happening?
Um, let's see what's happening on my side of town. Um, let's see, nothing comes to mind. Just a lot of questions that are coming up for me.
Yeah.
As far as just day-to-day stuff like chemo, radiation, like all
Yeah.
that stuff, because I feel like I still see people in the spiritual community doing chemo and doing,
Yeah.
and it's like, wait, don't you know? Like, so I don't know. I just
Mm.
feel like it's something that we need to discuss because,
Yeah.
as it's going out there that the vaccine is causing, higher rates of cancer, right? At 1000% raise in cancer.
And
So,
fast, like going to
and
stage
fast.
4, bang. And
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Yeah.
So,
So, look, what are your thoughts around that, Elisa? Like, what is your intuition saying around any of that?
um, well, of course, everybody's choosing, that's their higher self choosing that contract, right? Um, but I don't know. I mean, I really haven't gotten much other than it's part of the movie of people leaving, in addition to the people that took the vaccines. So I don't know.
Yeah. Look, I honestly, as always, it's our soul, and it's this divine timing for that soul or that being to leave if that's their choice.
Yep.
I also believe that chemo radiation, if that's how someone chooses to go, then that's perfect for them. There's no
Hmm.
judgment. It's quite difficult to do it the natural way because that's been blocked, and the avenues of financial help, even in Australia, have been blocked for people to do that. Got a friend going through it. It's really difficult. Can't get insurance, doesn't get any medical support, has to go overseas for a lot of the things that she needs, and it's just horrendous. So that's still in place. So for some people, the option that is too difficult, so they go the normal route, and that's okay. Personally, for me, it's not my cup of tea. Um, Going the way is at the moment medically, and that's because when I was 19, I had a big aha moment around it. I don't know if I've told you this, but I was working on the oncology ward, and I was only 19, and I was setting up this drip for someone to have this, chemo, and I had mask on, hat on, double gloves, gown, and I was going, and it wasn't just for sterility. And I went, well, if they don't want one drop to get on my skin, why would you put this inside someone? And that's when I started to get these, whoa, hang on a minute, something's not right here. So for me, my friend that's actually going through the situation, she used to make up the bags, and she knew what went in them, and she saw how much money was being made. So she just went. She was like me, even though we didn't know each other back then. It was, well, yeah, no, but it's got to be every soul's choice. And at the
It,
moment, it
it
is giving
does.
people an out. It's a really easy out for people that their soul wants to go.
It is, but it is a
Mm.
painful way to go. Like my sister-in-law chose chemo and I saw the
Oh yeah,
suffering. She literally would scream and say, "I am burning inside."
yeah,
So,
I
like
know.
this stuff is horrific. And I just want people to know that, like, it's not an option. Like, it's not even an option. Like, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I just,
Well,
I
can I
just
tell
want to
you?
see what the cards have to say.
Sure, sure, sure. But another story before we do the cards. Another friend I know, she chose to go through the medical route, but she had a friend of ours with her who was so incredibly spiritually, with enlightened, that there was hardly ever any side effects because of the work she did with her and with the substance that was going in. It was so incredible. So there's huge from like your sister-in-law's story to what I've seen, there can be massive differences as
Well,
well.
yeah, I mean, of course, the 3D story, someone who's 3D versus
Yeah.
someone who's 5D is going to be a completely different
Experience. Yeah. So,
experience.
but it's true, it's there. So, well, look, let's just check and see. What do we want to particularly ask the cards, Elisa?
So one is, I heard that 97% of people, I'm sorry, 97% of people that do chemo fail, die of cancer. Like it doesn't,
Eventually. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So let's just tune in to
doesn't help
see
them.
around that figure. We'll do sort of, roughly around that figure. We won't do
Yeah.
specifically 97%. Okay. It's one that's hot one here. Let's see. Yeah, we've got our Two of Cups card. So it's an out. What this is saying to me is there's a decision that's been made within them, and they know it's a pretty high chance they're going to go. The Tower card, yeah, this enables them in our society to actually leave, to actually to go. Yeah, look at that, Four of Swords. So it's almost like it's been like a hidden avenue for people to just go without any questions being asked, but to get the love and support they need on their way out. Yeah, look, oh my God, Ten of Swords, the ending of something, the finishing of something. So it's actually been a very 3D platform, but for people to leave and do it in a way that's accepted.
Accepted but painful.
No.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
would you say that the cards are saying that yes, it is as high as 97% of people? Okay. So it is. Okay.
Even if it's 10 years later, it's not, there's not great stats. Even for 5 years, there's not great stats at all. But
right.
but
Right.
it, that's there. But maybe that gives them time to then change their perspective of life and to shift a lot of stuff they needed to shift and help others around them to shift. So it's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So was chemo and radiation set up for um, just to make money, basically?
First one out, Page of Pentacles, new money. Hang on, I'm just going to check in and see if there's another reason as well. Oh, that one's hot. Oh, getting an itchy third eye as well. Something going on here. Oh, it was an agreement. Again, that Two of Cups wanted to come up. It was an agreement. Yeah, I mean, well, you know how it was formed, don't you? You know how they first, Wheel of Fortune, you know how they first came up with it. I think
No.
it was, okay, so I think it was either First World War or Second World War when they used to use mustard gas, and they noticed that it was killing off cells or killing off aspects within the
Oh,
person.
yes. My best friend did tell me it was created from
Yeah,
mustard gas.
mustard gas. So then they went, oh, let's use this in our medical model that we're setting up. So, so it was created. So we've got the Empress card. So, it was. I mean, there used to be a lot more natural remedies, but there wasn't as much cancer around, probably
Right.
as well. Nowhere near what it is now. So, but yeah, it was definitely created.
Okay. Do doctors get a cut from every chemo prescription that they put out there?
Okay, so in Australia, it works differently. It's not so much that, but that's their livelihood. If they're a specialist, that's their livelihood.
Well, here, my understanding is I had heard that oncology doctors, if they prescribe chemo, that they would get paid more money.
Oh, well, see, that you're not allowed to have that happen here. So I don't know if they're different. So let's just see if that's the case in the US. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it because we've got our Temperance card. So it may not come through directly as that because then we've got our Three of Wands, which is when looking towards the future. So, what other benefits come through? Wheel of Fortune again. So it does change up the fortune. of the person prescribing. You know, I think though a lot of them, strength. A lot of them talk almost, they really believe it. They believe that's the only way to go. It's the only thing that is going to work because that's their whole world. That's their whole life. So that strength card is saying their whole life is based around that. So the cognitive dissonance or the shock they're going to get when the truth comes out about this whole system and what's been going on, I don't know. Yeah, who knows how it will affect people that have believed their whole life that that's truth.
I
So,
forgot to put you big so people can see your cards. Here we go. Okay. Wow. So,
came up again. Yeah, that's the whole reason for what they do. That's their truth.
yeah. Yeah. So you're saying that doctors think that chemo works?
Well, they think that's the best possible route when they've come through the system and that's all they've been taught. That for them is their absolute truth. Yeah. You know, it's the same thing as when, you know, that particular virus came into our little realm. And, you know, of course, they couldn't bring this thing in, being an experiment, unless there was no treatment. So why do you think they took off particular drugs off the shelves? I mean, here they went around and they actually took them off the shelves, the two particular drugs we know that help that particular situation of inflammation. That's why. So, and yet it was still believed that that was the best treatment by a lot of the people in the system.
Like I can see nurses believing it. I just can't see doctors believing it.
They're often worse. They're often more indoctrinated, you know, and their livelihood, their status, everything that they are is tied into that. And so, but maybe that's their role. Maybe that's been their role they've been meant to be playing. And this is where it gets tricky because you want to go, and you just go, hang on a minute.
Yeah, no judgment.
Yeah, no judgment. But
here.
But a lot of them truly believe it. I know some that are very awake and they knew from the beginning and they were like, no, I won't be able to ever give that. You know?
Yeah.
So it just depends on the consciousness of the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is exciting. Lady Hawk said she did her homework. She didn't move something with her mind, but she did move her husband with a certain look in her eyes, and things got picked up after that. Does that count? Actually, I think it could count because it depends on the intention, right? If she had the intention of it only moving, right? Not just her moving it, but the object moving, then yeah, I think it counts because that means the object moved.
Lady Hawk, I wonder that certain look in your eye, was it like it's like because that would make people move anything.
But I actually think it counts.
Okay, let's
see. We can ask the cards.
We can ask the cards. I think it's hilarious.
Me too.
So funny. Oh, so we've got a 6 of Cups, which is something being offered. So maybe it's a start. So because, you know, that's got your town or your family or whatever in the background. So that's hilarious. Ace of Cups. Claim that one, honey.
See?
That's really funny. So
yeah,
but you've got your 9 of Wands, so it could probably be done in a different way because that's a hard road. That's a hard road. Oh my God, that is so funny. That's why I love doing this stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah. Thanks for giving us an update, Lady Hawk.
Yeah.
So Kibu Hope was saying, what are the 2 particular drugs that were taken off? And I think they were talking about ivermectin and
we're allowed to say them on here. That's all.
HCL.
HCQ and
HCQ. Sorry.
IV Ectin. Yeah. Yep.
You know, the horse paste.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We still have to use that here.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question that I see, and I'm going to do this backwards today. If they hold on, so the people with cancer, if they hold on until the med beds, will they be okay?
Yeah, it's a good question. Teresa, I still will always bring it back to that soul's contract and what that soul actually needs to do. So and remember, within our consciousness, we can do a lot of self-healing. Once people have the understanding that we are pure energy, we can actually connect, communicate, and help the physical aspect. So it's really about us raising our consciousness. But let's just see what the cards say. So the King of Cups has come up. Now, to me, this is a very emotional card. It obviously brings up a lot of emotion for people, but there's still something hidden. So it's almost like if that's what they're waiting for, rather than maybe starting to really work with their own consciousness, then it could be an issue. But it can offer a ray of hope for people as well, because that Six of Cups has come up again. So this is an offering. So yeah, so, and again, the Temperance card. So to me, this can be linked into our higher self, our soul aspect. It can be around waiting and having patience. However, I feel you've got to be doing some of your own work and releasing some of the emotions, some of the traumas that maybe have caused that anyway. Queen of Pentacles. So this is about contemplating their reality with wisdom and what can help me change it, and not just relying on something outside of ourselves. So it depends on the person. It's saying, yes, it can help. But it depends on the soul and what their journey is meant to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. The next question from Amanda is awake. Awesome, Amanda. The US Department of Justice just announced a media advisory for arrests in significant national security matter today at 1 p.m. Wow. Okay. So is this related to Biden?
Okay, let's see if it's specifically related. I mean, his little finger was in a lot of pies, wasn't it? So let's just see if it actually is related to that.
And I did have a question about radiation and mammograms.
Okay, yep.
Because mammograms is something else I want to bring up.
Excellent. King of Pentacles, so it's definitely something around him, because then the Seven of Pentacles was underneath. So this is something that's been planted and seeded, but it's not, I don't feel it's for him specifically. It's other stuff that's been going on around it. And then the Chariot. So it's a bit of a kickstart, I feel, getting some things on the road, getting things moving, but not specifically to the one that they perceive as the US president at the moment.
Okay. So is this media advisory U.S. significant national security matter? So is this going to be something that will kick off the
start of everything?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. All right. That one's hot. No. We've got our Two of Swords, so no. It's it's not. No, Seven of Cups. It's just creating some chaos. It's putting seeds out, it's making people, go, what's going on? What's going on? That sort of thing.
This okay, so is this new, since the media outlets are still owned by the bad guys? Is it then not true?
Okay, so we have got our Six of Swords, so it is moving into a better place. So let's just see if
So is it true that it was the U.S. Department of Justice that announced this media advisory? Or maybe even that could be a total lie.
Exactly. Let's just see if all of that's true. Let's just see. Okay.
Because, I mean, they're liars anyway, so.
So we've got a Five of Wands, and to me, this is always some action that's creating some change. I feel it's true because the Judgment cards come up, so there is some truth in it. Yeah. And then the Sun. So it's definitely triggering something to bring through something that's sort of more clarity down the track. So because this is the sort of clarity card afterwards. So no, it is true, but it's just
Okay, well, that's exciting. That means that some things are going to be happening then.
Yeah, but it's not going to be what we would want. Like, bang, get rid of this.
Right.
It's like a little seeds have been planted.
Like everything that has been with the
Like
movie, it's been
everything.
like little seeds. Nothing's been like
Yeah,
major.
yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about
Yeah,
the radiation that we receive when we do mammograms.
yeah. Okay.
So mammograms, do they hurt the body when you do them? Does that radiation?
Yeah, I did some research into this, and I've got a friend that's actually a radiographer and does them. And so I researched into it. And the issue for me personally is that they can create some tissue tearing. And that in itself can then maybe create some damage and things that then need to come in and fix that, which can that sort of then upscale, an incidence of something happening. So, yeah, and so it's again, this is every person's choice, but for me personally, I don't get them done.
Yeah, I don't either.
And I did ask my friend if she'd get them done, and she went no. She said it's actually more for people that are in fear, that need to come in to be checked to make sure they're okay or to pick something up. I mean, as a midwife, I know how to do self-examination. Everyone, men included, should know how to do that. It's not hard. But if you're worried, or if you have had history or whatever, sure, that's up to each individual person again. So I'll check in with the cards and just see.
Yeah, because it's just such a horrible, invasive.
Yeah, I know. Imagine if men had to have that done in a particular place.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be happening.
No, they would not go for it. Absolutely not.
Go for it. No. Absolutely not. I mean, you
No.
can have ultrasounds as well, but yeah, okay. So, like I said, for some people, it gives them peace of mind. Okay, but this can also be a little bit of a fast card. But for me, this is peace of mind for that person. So the justice, but there's got to be justice around what's going on, and the full cards come up. So there's got to be a new way to do this. And I've always said that this is wrong. Why isn't there another way to do this? So that new way will be coming. So it's just part of this whole thing that we've been going through. Temperance card again, card of the day. Patience, change. All right, so just use your intuition.
Yeah.
See what's right for you. Yeah, that's all.
Well, here in the US, if you're 40 or older, you have to get one every single year.
We get offered. I remember when I turned 40, and my female GP at the time, she said, "Oh, you can have a free," because we get them free here once you hit 40. And I just looked at her. I said, "Nope," and I showed her all the clinical evidence I'd researched about it. She went, "Oh, so we won't be doing that then?" I went, "Nope." So, so yeah, we get it free from 40. You can have one every year.
Yes, every year we're supposed to get a mammogram.
It's
and
crazy.
It's on purpose, right? Is to
yeah,
to hurt us.
And tribal rice
to
is
hurt
right.
us.
I just got something. I don't usually get them, but yeah, the pressure can actually burst the C cells and spread significantly more. And that's an aspect of it. Yeah. So the magician cards come up with that. So definitely, I would say yes to that. But even not healthy normal tissue, if you get tears and things in that. So, but again, This is not medical advice. This is my experience, and it's up to everybody as to what they do. And for some people, it can really benefit them because psychologically then they will feel good.
Okay. But they're feeling good, but is the radiation hurting their cells?
I don't think it's the radiation that's the actual real problem there. It's the damage to the cells. Yeah.
Really?
So, got our Page of Swords. And so that's sort of part of the story. That's only part of the story.
Okay.
Only part of the story. So the combinations, but yeah, that's more part of the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there is thermography. And thermography, of course, it's not something that causes any issues. So do you know what thermography is?
It's heat. Thermo is heat, isn't it? So is it
Thermal is
heat?
heat, yeah, and
Finding
it
heat.
just yeah, it does heat in,
Yeah.
in that area, and it can find something
Mm.
that doesn't look right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Good
Okay.
questions though. And I think this is for everyone to contemplate, use your intuition, whatever's right for you.
Yes. Absolutely. Whatever is right for you. I know I also stopped. I used to be this kind of person that I would think doctors were like gods.
Hmm.
Whatever the doctor said, I would do.
That's it. King of Wands. Exactly. That's how they've been portrayed through our hierarchy system within the human race. They've been portrayed as these people that they hold a lot of power. They hold a lot of I know best, that
Yep.
sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and so you're not alone.
Yep.
That's how we've been
So it was I
told.
mean, it was a big step for me to go like, nope, I'm not doing that. Like to take my
Yeah,
intuition over what a doctor is telling me, right?
yeah.
Um, yeah.
It's almost like an initiation when we're actually starting to listen more to what our messages are in here and what our intuition is telling us. It's an initiation. I remember I remember when these things first started to come out here and they weren't where I was living, but they were in the city and I had to go to the city to do some stuff. I had to go up there, and I got the message, you're not to wear one. And I sat in fear for 3 days, and I was saying, "Are you sure, God?" And it was like, "Yep, I've got your back. You know what to say. You're going to be okay." Do 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 do. And I was going, "Oh," and what I got told was, as I was processing through this fear, it was releasing eons of indoctrination and fear about authority. Everything was being released. 3 days I sat there and was just
Mm.
meditating, contemplating, and then when I went up there, I got tested because my friend came with me and she went, "Oh, I brought 2 of these things just in case." And I was just going, "You like my little Jiminy Cricket on the wrong side." And I was fine. And how it all worked out was so incredibly beautiful. I actually helped other people take this off when I was there. So it was,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, but it was huge. So yeah, it's hard work. So what you did was really brave, and you know, um, but we have to listen to our intuition. If we're being told, look, we can do this procedure or whatever, and it feels right, then you do it. I mean, I had an instance when I broke my arm, and they said, "Oh, we want to do surgery on that," and I was just getting no, 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 no. So I researched, and it was like, no, you actually don't normally do surgery on this type of break
They
when it's only
don't.
this
And
small.
so I'm
Mm,
glad you bring that up because what the medical system has become is the sales pitch. And so I went in for diverticulosis into the hospital, and some doctor walks in and he goes, "Well, I came in to talk to you about surgery," and I'm
mhm.
like, "Surgery?" And he goes, "Yeah, so that we can cut the um, the intestine and take out the part that has the holes in it." And I'm thinking like, no, like it, and they charged me $400 for the consult.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know it's just madness that how it has become just they're like doctors are now salespeople, especially surgery doctors. They come
Yeah,
in and they just want the money, and they're going to tell you you need surgery and you possibly don't. So it's important that you guys listen to your intuition and really understand what you're being told and you know what your body
yeah.
needs or wants.
And get a second opinion, you know, because, a lot of surgeons, that's all they focus on. They don't focus on the
Yep.
medical other aspects. So, and what I found out was the particular specialist that wanted to do this surgery on me. I said, why would you want to do that? And he went, I've seen people with their hands hanging off and this and that, and they're not done. I said, I'm not in that category. Thank you. You've just explained to me you wanted to do it through your fear of what you've seen the worst of the worst. And then the next time I got a different doctor, and he went, "Oh, yeah, when I was in, another place," he said, "We would never do surgery on these." And I went, "Thank you for my confirmation." So I did my research, I checked around, I got other opinions, and I was so grateful that I did that. And then my friend, the same radiographer, said to me later, "Maree, I have people coming in all the time to have their pins and plates taken out because they're so annoying." Like 2 years later, once the bone's healed, they actually come in to
Wow.
have the screws and things taken out. I went, another confirmation. So, it's not just, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. You really need to go in and do research as much as you listen to your intuition.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Good on you, though, Elisa.
Yeah, just beware that
there's choices. We have choices.
they don't, I don't know. Personally, I don't believe that all doctors have your best interests, is all I'm going to say. Not all of them, but, just be mindful and be aware that they're being indoctrinated by the Rockefellers. So,
and look at that card that came up as you were saying that, the Four of Pentacles, which is slowly setting up a foundation. That's what's happened. I mean, we lost the homeopathics aspect. All of those got taken out. I think they had less than a day on nutrition. It's like, yeah.
Well,
so that will change. This will change. This too will pass.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It will. Absolutely. It will. Okay, so let me continue on with the questions from our amazing soul family. Okay. I think we looked at this already.
Yeah, it was,
but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. I think we asked more about was it a story sort of thing, because remember they were using it for certain.
Yeah, was there really a disaster, or was it just
big
a story?
Secret. Got our beautiful. We've got this card. Big secret. King of Swords. Big story was told that actually wasn't truth.
Okay, yeah. So it was a story. Yeah, I think I remember that now.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. This is something that I wanted to do, was to look into natural remedies for cancer, to see what the cards say as far as if they're any good or if they're not. So what about moringa? I've heard moringa is really good for cancer.
Okay. Do you know what that's based on? Is it what the moringa comes from, or is it a fruit, or is it a?
Yeah, it's I think it's a fruit.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Is it hard to get a hold of? Because look at the two cards that have come up. Seven of Wands and the Devil. So this is someone that's actually fighting for their rights. So I'm wondering.
So maybe they're making it hard for people to get a hold of moringa.
People's wishes and desires that want it, I'm feeling it's quite difficult, maybe difficult to get a hold of. Probably can't. Yeah, temperance. So it takes a lot of patience, and it takes for the change to happen. So there's definitely, I feel this is happening with a lot of these things. Like I said, you can't get a lot of this stuff in Australia. It's really difficult. So yeah, but so obviously,
I mean, I can get it in the local health food store. They have moringa leaf supplements there.
Is it the right dose and stuff though, or is it the right form? And that's what I mean. Sometimes to get the right dose that's actually going to work, that's when it gets tricky. So let me just, oh, that one wants to come out. Yeah, strength. Getting the right type, the right dose. That's when things actually can get tricky. So there's something that's hidden. So it's always just trickier than you expect. That Four of Swords is definitely something that's hidden.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? So they're saying that they're planning on putting the jabberdew in the meat and food. How concerned should we be?
Okay, let's see.
And so my understanding is this is an old timeline. And I would like to have a conversation with you about timelines, actually.
Sure. Okay, I'm just going to... No, the moon's come up, so I don't feel that this is actually going to happen.
Yeah,
not to the extent. No, Six of Wands, we've got a victory. So I don't
Yeah.
feel it's going to happen to what they're sort of talking about, and whatever the fear full card, something new is going to
Yeah.
come through that's not that. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So Lady Hawk, at this stage, I would say it's trying to get people worried and concerned, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So something that I want to talk about is in the on the internet, is it possible that we can get somebody talking about a timeline that we're not a part of? So
Mhm.
somebody could say, "Oh, they're going to put the Jabberdo in the meat and the food." And of course, I already know that in my reality that's not going to happen.
Mm.
But maybe somebody that's not in tune or is not aware that that's
Mm.
not their timeline, that's somebody else's timeline, so you're watching someone that's in a different timeline. So is that possible, Maree?
Um, I personally believe it is. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but I've actually experienced. I remember, I'll never forget the moment. I was living up on the mountain, and I was on the phone to a friend, and I was just looking outside. I had the most magnificent trees and everything outside my window, and the next minute, I felt this tuk tuk tuk, and I said to her within seconds, "I've just shifted timelines," and I just knew it. It was incredible, and it didn't feel like a lot had changed, and yet I knew a lot had changed. It was just amazing. So it can be that subtle. So, and then I believe we can still have an aspect that will tap into news or whatever it is from other timelines. But then we get more and more solidified into a timeline, but it can depend on our thought processing. It can depend on our consciousness and everything, and just our soul timing. So yeah, I do believe that we can tap into other.
So yeah, because like I'll give you an example. There's
Sure.
this person that's a remote viewer that
Yeah.
I watched some of her stuff, and she's like, no, because they're, St. Andreas fault is going to fall in the water, and she's remote viewing this thing. And I'm thinking, like, I'm sorry, that's just not my timeline. But then I'm thinking, wait, but I shouldn't invalidate what she's seeing. Maybe in her timeline, in her reality, it is true and it's going to happen for her, but not for me. So I'm wondering if it's possible that we are able to see these gurus or remote viewers or psychics or whatever giving information about their specific timeline and not the person that's watching timeline.
Yeah. And who knows? Was that something that she was viewing, but it was from the past, like from a whole different realm, a different timeline, like you're saying that we would want to call the past. It just gets a little bit convoluted too. But yeah, so we've got our two of swords. So yeah, we have to ask the question to ourselves: is where am I? Five of wands. So actions or whatever can make changes and create problems. The chariot. So to me, this is when we're in balance, we're moving along our highest possible timeline. So yeah,
Right.
that can go on, absolutely. And the
So
more we create our world. So whatever we choose to believe in, then we're going to actually perpetuate that.
so then so when we do the cards, are these cards telling us the truth for your and my timeline and not from some other timeline?
That came up as you said it again. So in balance and moving forward, but this is when we're within balance within ourselves. That's why this black and white, the yin and yang, is so important in the chariot as well. Um, and even things that we have thought about or whatever, they could just be completely dissipated. And this is why they say that anyone that's doing the channeling or whatever, it might only be only 85% truth in that moment because of all the variances that can happen. I mean, look at string theory, look at quantum physics, where you focus on a molecule, it will change the trajectory of that molecule compared to the actual placebo molecule where it's not being watched. We change our world around us with just thoughts and focus.
Yeah. So I was thinking
Mm.
about that. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So then when we're pulling cards, really, it's the cards for our timelines and not necessarily somebody in 3D timeline, like, you know.
Completely. And some people might completely miss this channel because it's just not in their, that's not what they need to be hearing or seeing or connecting with everyone that's on here. And that's why I find the cards to me are really entertainment, because all it's doing is planting seeds so you can go home and contemplate, okay, what do I really feel about that? You know, this is to me what it's about. It's maybe giving us a little bit of more scope as to how we think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's my perception of the cards that come through with when the questions asked through the higher self.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Mm.
just, again, I'm just seeing it more and more as I watch YouTube. And then I started on following these people. I'm like, wait, I'm following you, but you're not on my timeline. I'm like, get out of here. Like, I
Love it.
deleted their Telegram channel because I was like, no, I'm sorry. It's just not, it's, they were talking about the banks and how you get the money out. And you got to have this fear and da 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 da. And Alex Collier said it, like they're validating their information because some other guru said it. And I'm
Correct.
thinking, like, I think I shouldn't invalidate what they're saying. I should just say, okay, well, you're not on my timeline. So, bye. So, yeah, I'm just, you guys, when you see something, start questioning, are these people on your timeline? And if they're not, bye. Like, don't let them confuse you.
Yeah.
Um,
If it doesn't
it,
resonate, just go, oh, that's a really interesting way to look at something. Yeah. However, I'm moving away from that
yeah,
because that
like
doesn't resonate.
yeah, you guys get to you will get to pick your reality, not someone else. So if you see some psychic or some medium or some remote viewer or whoever else, if they're saying something that does not resonate with you, say not in my reality. That's what I do. When I hear something that is way out there, I'm like, yeah, well, not in my reality. Sorry,
Mhm.
not going to
Yep.
happen.
Yep.
So just be aware that there's different realities and different timelines happening, and you could be watching someone that is in a different timeline. So just saying.
Yeah. And they can overlap. All right. Like I said, when I had that knowing that I'd shifted timelines, it was like not a lot had changed, but I knew it had. And that's what can happen. We can have this infiltration, or we can have this, like when you're, rubbing shoulders with someone, your energy overlays. That can happen. And that's why we can have people or, NPCs in our frequency. Usually, though, as we become more balanced and our consciousness expands, we don't need to attract that in as much. So often it might be just observing situation that's going on over there, and you go, oh, okay, that's interesting. And we might learn something just from that interaction that's going on, just away from us.
Yeah.
So we can have that interaction with different, I feel this is how I see it, timelines, because of our energy field, and we're all connected.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I
mm,
see, on the chat, like people saying cancel and delete or erase. I'm not of the belief that we should say cancel and delete or
no,
erase,
no.
because that means you're not accepting the reality that you're in. That means that in the end, we have to actually accept uh, whatever it is that's in our reality, but we can choose something different. We don't have to erase it or delete it, because it's okay. That reality is good for someone else, just not you. So we don't want to cancel somebody else's realities or whatever. So it's more of, change your vision to go this way, not necessarily cancel, delete, or erase, but more of
And
like,
and I
I'm
feel too,
feeling good.
you could use those words with your thoughts. Like if you start going into a little negative story in your head, I just go, oh, hold on, Maree, what are you doing? Come on, let that go. Thank you, thank you. Okay, now bring in something beautiful and positive. So if I'm going into that, and I don't know if you guys do it, but I know sometimes for me it happens, and I go, I'm making this story up. Why do I want to create this stupidity? And I do cancel and delete, but not in those words. I'll just notice it, acknowledge it, let it go, thank it, and then move into another different way of
Exactly.
thinking.
And that's what Octavia has taught me, is that
Okay.
you don't cancel, delete, you don't do any of that, because it's your creation, it's your baby. If you created a thought, then it's yours. You got to love it. So you're not deleting it or erasing it. You're loving it. You're
Yeah.
loving it and you're thanking it, and then you're moving on to something else.
Just acknowledge
So
it. Just go, oh, I see you. So I'll watch my patterning and I'll go, oh, I'm starting to do this. Okay, that's great. Thanks for letting me know. And then work on, well, what's going on. And I might find I'm actually going through a shift or a transition or an initiation. And so my mind starts to drop into that patterning. So that's how I use it. I
yeah,
use it as a way of noticing, oh, there's my little cue. I saw you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for bringing those questions, because it helps me bring other questions that I have. Okay, so there's a question here about timelines. So I remember many past experiences with my family as a child, and my sister recalls something different. Timelines, timeliness, or exaggerated view?
yeah,
Hmm.
Trixie Tot, I love this question because this happened to me. So my sister and I, we only had like 22 months between us, and there were 6 kids over 20 years. So three sets of pairs virtually. So my sister said she never saw some of the stuff I saw. She never actually experienced it, but she had a very different relationship with mum. Her role as the older sister was very different to my role, and things changed in the home. So what I was experiencing was different to her, but I was meant to experience that because of my soul contracts with my siblings or my father or whatever it was. So we all have a different role and a whole different experience within a family unit even. It's crazy. So it's a really good question, because I used to say to her, but don't you remember? And she'd go, no, I never saw that.
Yeah,
And yeah,
and that's why every reality is the right reality. We can't say, "Oh, my sister's reality is wrong, mine is right." No, no, no.
no,
It in her reality, that's correct. That so every reality is correct. There is not one true reality. There isn't. The
no.
only true reality is the one that belongs to the person at the time.
Justice card. Every single soul is going to experience what it is they've asked to experience. That's
Hmm.
why that justice card's come up, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
And for some people, it can be a really painful, heartbreaking experience, that are living virtually in the same house. And for others, that Knight of Pentacles, it can be bringing them exactly what they want. And that's really positive. And it's cray cray, right? But
yeah.
that's how it works.
Yeah, yeah. And
So,
I mean, even people that have seen the same, like, shooting, for example.
yeah.
Some people's, like, the stories are all different, and they all were there and they all saw the same thing happen, but everybody has a different story, a different reality.
Yeah,
So
totally.
yeah.
And and it does depend. Like I'll be walking along the street with a friend. I remember this happened, and I was just talking and just really enjoying the day. And then about 3 or 4 minutes later, she went, "You didn't even see that, did you?" I said, "See what?" She said, "This person asking for money came up to me and was like nearly accosting me, and I didn't even see it." So it was crazy. So our vibration or whatever. So she sort of ended up just brushing them off and walking, but I didn't see it. And so it depends on our vibration, our frequency, everything that's going on
Yeah.
as to what then comes into our world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." Yeah.
Yeah, that's why seeing everything as a movie ends up working better for us,
Yeah.
and understanding, hey, that is that person's reality, that is that person's karma or life contract or whatever it is. And that's why not having judgment is so good, because it teaches you to just watch and just understand that that belongs to them, and that's their contract, and that's what they wanted to experience, and just leaving it at that, just understanding each
Yeah.
person has their story, and you're just there to watch it and experience it, and that's it. And if you have emotion about it, you work with the emotion, and you what's it called? Transmute that emotion, and then that's it.
Yeah. And that's where I find I never say it right, the Ho'oponopono, that beautiful prayer of love and
Forgiveness.
forgiveness. Yeah,
Mhm.
for ourselves, for our family, for our soul family, and for all lineage. And I just find if I'm a bit stuck and I work with that, with the situation or the person, that really helps me just to let go at a little bit of a deeper level till I can actually really do my work as to, whoa, I was so triggered. What's going on here? What's this feeling? So that's just a really nice way of stepping through it. If people haven't used
It
that, it
does help. Yes,
helps.
that does help a lot of people. I tried using it. It didn't help me, but it does help some people for
It
sure.
does. It just
Yes.
gives me that space to just stop and just to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, whew.
Okay, let's see. Maple Tree wants to know what dream walking is.
Okay. So maple tree depends. Is it dream walking so that we're walking, sleepwalking, or is it dream walking when we feel like we're out of our body when we're dreaming?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
think that's what she
That's
means.
what she means? So yeah, me personally, when I know it's almost like astral traveling. It's sort of from my body when I'm asleep. To me, yeah, we have actually moved into another realm or another dimension on an energetic, spiritual level to experience that. And I mean, I used to fly everywhere in my dreams. I don't know how many of you guys like fly, but I
Wow.
used to have to try and train myself how to get off the ground. So I'd be running, go, yes, I can do this. And sometimes I'd fly. Sometimes I'd just into consciousness while I was dreaming. And I was flying over London. I could actually see all of London. And I taught myself how to astral travel while I was sleeping. And it didn't take long. I was really surprised, but maybe because I'd had flying dreams since I was young. And I
Wow.
remember flying back to Western Australia from Sydney because I wanted to see my cat, and it was raining and I could feel the clouds. I could feel the rain. And I came in and I was just chatting with him for a while, and it was so nice. And then I left and came back to Sydney, but I was flying in over Sydney and only just moved into this particular place. And I remember flying in over the water and all the houses, and I was going, but I don't know where I live. How am I going to get back in my body? And then the next minute I woke up and I was in my body. So it was such a big learning curve. So it was heaps of fun. So I feel it is out of your body, but we're still, as they say, we do have that silver cord that attaches us so that we can travel. And if we're consciously aware of it, we can experience other realms, other places while
Yeah.
we're dreaming.
Yeah.
What do you think, Elisa?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I've never had good dreams or fun dreams or any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my dreams are very much me on another timeline.
Oh, and it's funny. I've got a friend like that. She visits other planets, and this Friday, Zandy's going to be on the She'll be definitely on the on with the comments part of it. She's my dream buddy, but she has like prophetic dreams, really different dreaming to how I dream. So we all have our own way of dreaming. It's absolutely fascinating.
It is. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's yeah. And so tell people about that, Maree.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when is
So
that going to happen?
because our beautiful Elisa is gallivanting again, I'm going to do a live on the usual time that we would have it for Thursday night, your Thursday night in the US, my Friday morning at 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to do a live, and so put any dreams you've had, any questions you've got around anything like that, just pop it in the comments and we can have a look at it. We'll use Jasper, we'll use the cards, I'll have my dream book, we can talk about it. It's just so much fun.
Okay, very good. So it's at exactly the same time, right?
Exactly the same time. Yep.
Okay, very good. Okay, I want to address Teresa's question here. So if I ignore
Oh,
child and animal abusers, they'll just go away.
yeah, no, really good question, Teresa. So what do you think, Elisa, with this one?
So, what you give your attention to grows. So in if you change your reality and you say, in my reality, children are healthy, happy, um, they're not being abused, whatever. Same thing with the animals. Then yeah, you create your reality. So yes, it will go away. But if you ignore it, I'm gonna say I don't know, Maree. What do you think? If it's just ignoring and not actually stating or putting an intention, if you just ignore, I'm thinking it goes away because your reality is not going to show it to you. I
Yeah,
don't
but look, I mean, and I guess too, what's our experience in life? So for some people, it's actually to help the children that are, whatever's
being
going
abused.
on, it
Mhm.
is to be. And if I see children being like mistreated, oh my God, I become like a ferocious mama bear. And to me, it's like that's if that's happening and it's near us or it's in front of us or it's then stand up, speak up, take action. I absolutely know that that can be part of our role and part of our soul's journey as well,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
but with animals, oh my God, like don't get me started. But yeah, like I did foster care because I wanted to help animals that needed to move into a much better place of health and happiness and from trauma. And so I did that for 10 years. And then I ended up with Clive down here. He's sleeping with his little paw on his head like this, because that was done for me. And then I had this beautiful one that I helped sort of, bring through that. And now he's one of the most beautiful, happiest, healthiest cats I know. So yeah, what you need to experience and what is going on, you will have put in front of you. So but I think we need to realize that yes, that can go on, that does go on. I think just denying it completely is maybe not right, but focusing on how you want it to be. So focusing, sending love and light. If you aren't physically in an area where you can do it or you're working with that, just love and light and seeing children as healthy, happy, free, cared for, nurtured. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, we don't want to take away life contracts that exist, right? So these animals,
Right.
these children have it in their contract to go through this experience. So
Contract.
it's almost like Teresa, like you shouldn't ignore it, you should accept it almost. I mean, I feel like it's just that accepting that there were some souls that wanted to have that experience. As crazy as that sounds,
Yeah.
it's about accepting everything that's in your reality. That's what Octavia would say.
Yeah.
It's about accepting everything that you see that's there.
Yeah. But again, like I said, if you're in a situation where you can help something that you see going on that is not right, not fair,
Oh,
unjust, and cruel,
absolutely.
of course,
Right.
you do it. And yeah, so it depends what your role is and what's going on for your experience in the lifetime.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a tough one, Teresa. It's almost like how do we do that? Just yeah, you've got to stay balanced within yourself
Yes,
first before
absolutely.
anything else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
Yeah.
so what I'm talking about more is like if we were to see it on TV or if something where it's
Yeah.
not you personally being involved in the situation, you know. Um Now if you are seeing if you feel so strongly about it, then get involved, get in that community and start
Yeah.
helping. And also because it could be for your growth, it could be for your contract, it could be, so it's also uh part of that as well. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
Well said, Elisa. And I do like I had a calling to foster these animals and I learnt so much. And it taught me patience, it taught me understanding, it taught me a lot about animals. I mean, I've already had a lot of time with animals in my life, but this just took it to a whole new level. And it was beautiful. I knew I could help their soul to heal, and to release trauma, or I could help. Yeah, it was just amazing. As heartbreaking as it was, that was my calling. So if you do
yeah,
get a calling, you go there. It's perfect.
absolutely. And that's why that's there, right?
Yeah,
That's why that's there. The simulation might be showing you that, and it's not even real.
yeah, yeah,
Seriously, you could be seeing something that's the simulation just trying to evoke an emotion out of you, to evoke some feeling for you, but it might not even be real.
uh, yep, I agree.
So,
So yeah, it's a pretty crazy pretty crazy game we're in.
Yes,
and
we are in a simulation, guys. So just
it's
remember that
tricky,
too. Yeah,
you know. And
remember that too. That it's this is a simulation. It could be. It's weird. Now I walk on the street and I sometimes can tell I have that feeling of like, oh, I feel the simulation. Like I feel the simulation.
yeah, yeah,
I feel it.
absolutely.
And I'll see a little old guy walking by and I'm like, oh, that's a simulation. That's not a real person. That's a fake pixels there.
That's hilarious because the
Yeah.
world card came up when you were saying that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, our world is how we see it. Yeah, Knight of Swords. So we are our own warrior within
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's just so true. God.
Yeah.
I mean, and look at this, Two of Cups. This is a contract or a commitment or something we've made either to ourselves or to someone else within it, within
Yeah.
this whole get up. So these
Yeah.
are really big, deep questions, which are fabulous because it means we contemplate them.
Yes, absolutely. And I love talking them out, you know. Um,
Yeah.
it's much more fun to talk it out than just
Yeah,
telling by myself kind of thing. So
that's right.
all
So,
right. Well, I am going to Panama this Thursday and I will be gone till May 1st, which is a Monday. So that Monday also I won't be here.
okay.
So guys, you need to go and support Maree and her channel and also get your dreams in there, right? Go talk about dreams, get your info about dreams. So um, have fun with it. Have fun with
Yes.
it. Enjoy it.
And if there's any other questions that come through, we can look at those. But
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I agree. And so it's on Magic Maree, which is my YouTube name. I think
Yep.
Elisa's popped up a link in her
The
listings,
feed.
so you pop through
Mhm.
there and see that. So thank you, Elisa.
All
So
right. Thank
yeah,
you.
so
Thank
that'll
you
be
so
fun.
much, guys.
Oh my God, Jasper hasn't said a word today. That's why he was giggling, I think. He was just sitting there going,
Oh.
so he hasn't even popped up to say anything, have you? He's going, oh, he's getting a day off, he says. We're gonna work you hard on Thursday night, Friday morning, all right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Oh,
We love you so much. Keep high vibing. We're almost there. We're getting very close to the end. I feel like at least in this year and next year
yeah.
we'll be almost there.
Be
So
great.
stay
Yeah.
high vibing. We love you.
Very
Bye.
loved. Have a great trip.